Oh, this is a quick intro. NotiTask email alert to work order or to basically dashboard is an application or a service that allows you to generate work requests or work orders in API enabled CMMS system. Those alerts could be from air handler filters, from static pressure, any alerts, locks, battery replacement on locks, temperature, and refrigerators, freezers, critical areas where you're required to not only to respond but also track your staff time. So this is a little kind of a spaghetti diagram here on this side. So basically, if your BMS system, which is this area here, or your Centrac monitoring system, or ASA Abloy Wi-Fi locks, they'll generate emails, and those emails will be sent over to a specific email that we provide you, and then our system will monitor that email and will execute this process over and over and over again for each email. So basically, validates the email as it comes in. It processes the email, look for all the context of the email to generate the email log. The log is then restored. I mean, it's stored and added to the dashboard. The system also track the counts of emails for the same source. So this gives you a good view of how the end device or the source of those emails behave and how often they generate alerts. It's based on certain conditions, certain situations, and things of that nature. So this provides you with an ability to see um, um, a lot more details from just regular email. And also helps reduce alarm fatigue. As many vendors, many companies, and many organizations, they go based on email alerts. And if you get 15 emails for the same source for the same thing, you're kind of wasting resources at that point. With the system, you can send all those emails to a specific email and then have the system generate a work order or a dashboard event once a day, every 5 days, every 2 days, every 3 days. Of course, it depends on the configuration, which we're going to cover in subsequent videos. So once the documentation is done, which is basically extracting the email information, creating the log, and storing the copy of that email. Then, if the system has the work order enabled, we'll generate a work order. Otherwise, we'll stay here, which means that we'll post it on the dashboard, and that's the end of the whole workflow. As new emails come in within the same day, then the record stats will take effect. You will see that the count of emails will go up, and then the rate of return or rate of receive rather is how often are your that particular source for that particular email alert, how often is it getting sending emails out. So you can set up settings within the system to alert you when that rate goes over a certain threshold, or also if the alarm received count goes over a certain count, you can also be notified. And this is what we allowed here. Send email to users. Alert is not resolved. So basically, if somebody went to respond to a refrigerator call, let's say temperature's out of whack, and this is a specimen refrigerator or a nourishment refrigerator, and the refrigerator keeps sending alarms. So the assumption is either nobody went to look at it or the issue is not resolved, obviously. So this will send after a certain threshold, which is user set, it will escalate to the next user, to the next administrator rather. Um, the Basically, this is a quick sample of what the system can connect. Anything basically that can send an email alert. We will have to get a copy of that particular alert and what's inside that body of that email, and then we can create parsers for each of those alarms so we can identify and extract names and source from that particular email. That could be for filter change, fire alarm, door locks, chillers, which is part of the whole BMS package. So you don't necessarily have to connect to it directly to a chiller, but if you have a BMS system, a building management system, that you have critical alerts, you can send those critical alarms in here into the system, and then work orders will be generated. And you get the timestamp of when the work order was created and how often was the alarm acting, how many alarms did you get in the time period. Dampers as well. If you have limit switches included with dampers, you probably going to set that up on the BMS as well to issue alarms forward. This is a quick view of the dashboard. So this particular dashboard is basically tracking server alarms on a server farm. It's not generating work orders. They're working directly from the dashboard. So basically the dashboard has a 1 minute refresh rate, and which we were going to show in subsequent videos, which is similar to this portion that you see here. And then rather than have view system, you can just have acknowledge. And here you can, it basically tells you the time it was received, because this is all part of the same system. You see the system, server alarm and events. This particular account only has one email set up. You can have multiple emails as well. So if you want to have emails from the BMS, emails from the fire alarm, emails from a different source, you can create multiple systems that will track and monitor those events. So the timestamp is always the same because it's the same system, but these are the different sources that are sending emails to this particular system. Work order generation is disabled. Right now we have a count of 1. Most of them, this particular one has a count of 4, which means that the rate of receive, the ROI we mentioned earlier, that means is calculated per minute. That means you're getting 1 per minute based on the last alarm received. As new alarms come in, that rate is changed, it's calculated, and based on this calculated rate, that's when some of the alerts of escalation get sent over to the user group who are part of the notification. So total emails avoided is 1633. This number right now includes testing period. So the actual number is actually a little less than that. December, January, and March were configuration periods where system went offline. There was some upgrades to be done on their source equipment, so alerts weren't being sent out. March, we got a little better. April, we basically were 100%. And now from April on, you're going to see the alerts basically matching. So basically our starting point for this account is on April. A total emailed work orders generation 290. So 290 work orders were not generated, so they calculated as failure. Total generated is 0, so it makes sense. So this number is so different because this is the total alert count. For example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 4, and that's 8 alerts that the system received. The system would have generated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 work orders for each of those today. So that's the difference in disparity. So now those email alerts will go to a staff member, right? Or to a dispatcher or something, and they will be getting 1,600 emails in the time that we put the system online. I mean, emails on top of all the emails it can create alarm fatigue very easily, or even worse, it will prevent you from answering very critical emails from someone else rather than a system. So by generating work orders, you eliminate that function completely. You go directly to the system, and the staff who's actually working or specified to work on the systems, they get the work order, and they're going to see a work order came in, which is similar to the system. A work order came in. This is the web, the PC version from the website. If you have a handheld device, they can support your CMMS system work order management, then it goes directly to the CMMS system, to the iPad. And this is how this particular customer is doing it. So they respond in real time. They put the time charges in real time. They document the actual failure in real time. And guess what? You can go back. So if you have this integrated, this work order number will actually be a hyperlink. So basically, you click on this particular event and it will take you straight to the work order on that system. So the system is pretty simple and yet powerful, and helps institutions on trying to mitigate alarm fatigue when it comes to a variety of systems sending alerts and alarms. They will require a resource to respond. You will see more in subsequent videos as we go through the actual process of implementation of a system, designing a parser for alarm extraction and detail extractions, and we go through the process of looking at the uh, uh, web application and where everything is. We'll go through the dashboard to the home page as you see here, and everything else. Any questions? If you're interested in such a system like this, you can always ping me on the email shown below, and we'll get you rolling fairly quickly. And the best part of this whole system is you don't need IT intervention or any involvement with your local IT. All we need to do is basically we'll give you an email, and you put that email on your alarm server, whatever that is. This sends alerts, and then that system starts sending alerts to my email, and then we'll take the emails from there. We'll do all the magic behind the scenes. There is nothing else to do. If you can host this application locally in your premises, but it's up to you. There's different options, and pretty cost effective given the ability that you get and the reduction in alarm and the mitigation in alarm fatigue, which is huge when it comes to healthcare institution. All high priority organization were required to resources to respond immediately. Anyway, I think I said enough. Right now, just yeah, keep an eye on subsequent videos, and we go from there. This was a quick introduction to NotiTask.